mahirap. Nagkakaroon ka
Actually.
talaga ng kaaway. It went to a point that I was burnt out. Napapanaginipan ko na
Yung
naniningil
trabaho.
ako. I was already having that habit of
Mhm.
I need to get alone. It was a disappointment. Kaya I decided to resign.
Sinag Spotlight.
Hi, welcome to Sinag Spotlight. Ngayong araw na to makakasama natin ang isang financial advisor. He started out as an OFW and katulad ng maraming experiences ng mga kababayan natin abroad, nagkaroon din siya ng mga loans para makabili ng mga gadgets tulad ng cellphone, ng laptop, ng cameras. But then again, later on, he had realizations and eventually he became a financial advisor para mas makatulong sa mga kapwa niya OFW. Joining us here at Sinag Spotlight is Mr. Aris Ripari. Hello, sige. All right. Welcome to Sinag Spotlight, Aris.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Raymond.
And it's nice to see you again, actually.
It is a nice-
Earlier this week, nagkita na tayo, di ba? And one of the things that I did learn from you, na hindi ko alam dati, was that prior to becoming a financial advisor, kasi yun yung work mo ngayon,
Yep.
was that you started out being an educator by training.
Yeah.
So, you took up education basically in college.
Yes, I did. So I graduated in Camarines Norte State College as a Bachelor Secondary Education and major in English.
But basically, what motivated you or ano yung naging reason bakit education yung kinuha mo?
Well, number one, because I cannot afford to really enroll to the course that I really want. Ang dream ko kasi talaga is maging marino or marine.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, yung marine like marine transportation,
Okay.
yung course na yon. However, because 5 kasi kami magkakapatid, and then I'm the eldest, tapos maliliit pa yung mga kapatid ko, I've seen the struggle of my family. So even if they want me to enroll dun sa ganong klaseng course, but they're not able to. So I was thinking, ano na lang yung pwede kong gawin?
Right.
So that was the only option for me na sa tingin ko, mas madali ako makakahanap ng trabaho. And
So
that's
you took up
education.
education basically. But after graduation, hindi mo rin siya na-practice.
Hindi ko rin siya na-practice. Kasi I have this mindset na pagkatapos kong makapag-aral, gusto ko na kaagad makatulong sa parents ko.
Okay. So ano yung naging first job mo?
So I became a marketing executive sa one of the largest motorcycle dealership in the country. So yun yung unang trabaho ko.
Okay. And then doon na talaga nasa sales ka from the beginning.
Ever since ever since na magsimula akong trabaho, predominantly talaga sales talaga yung
Okay.
experience.
Was that something that you wanted to, do sa career mo? Or talagang ito yung sa tingin mong makakapag-provide basically sa family?
First off, yun lang kasi yung available during that time. Like during kasi during my time sa nag-graduate ako, mahirap makapasok sa mga schools. I realized ang daming unemployed that time. And kung ano na lang yung unang trabaho na tumanggap sa akin, that's
Yun
what
na.
I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I'm not syempre if you are in sales, you really have to know how to deal with people.
Exactly.
And mahihain ako. Tahimik akong tao. And then, I can't really do the job. Pero, again, matindi yung pangangailangan.
But I'm sure that has been a very challenging experience. So how
It
did you
is.
overcome those challenges?
Well, number one, I was trained enough since I was teaching, students. I think it has paved the way for me. Dun sa trabaho na nakuha ko. It was, I think,
Okay.
it's something that it's a God's plan for me to do.
Okay. So basically, you graduated from college, having education degree, you went into sales, not having a background of it, and naniningil ka, di ba?
Yes.
At the same time,
Yes, correct.
parang ang hirap nun.
Yeah, it's somehow mahirap yung trabaho ko kasi before I really have to be tough, and during
Yeah.
my time sabi nga ako ng mga katrabaho ko, parang batang-bata ka pa. And then maniningil ka, and then you have to really be authoritative. And
Right.
pag naningil ka, kailangan mo talaga na you really have to persuade them that they have to pay.
Right.
And yung mga sinisigil ko matatanda. And when it comes to collection of debt, talagang medyo mahirap. Nagkakaroon ka
Actually.
talaga ng kaaway. Even in a personal way, kapag nagpautang ka, and then,
Huwag ka nga daw magpapahiram sa kaibigan mo, di ba, sabi?
true, kung ayaw mong masira yung relationship ninyo. Kaya nga, it's a tough job for me. And it went to a point na, I think, for almost 3 years I've been doing the same job. It went to a point that I was burnt out. Kasi there was a time na napapanaginipan ko na yung
Yung
naniningil
trabaho.
ako.
Oo.
And then it wasn't really good in my health anymore. Kaya I decided to
Yeah.
resign.
I see.
Yeah.
Pero actually, parang mas okay yung nananaginip kang naniningil ka kaysa ikaw yung sinisingil.
That's true. Well,
Well, I do understand. Nagbibiro lang tayo. Pero yeah, that's really a tough
Yeah.
job to be at. And ito ba yung naging motivation mo na sinabi mo, quit na ako dito and mag-abroad na lang ako?
yeah.
Yun yung naging mitsa.
Not only that, I think one of the main reason I really want to go abroad is because, number one, the salary is not enough. Second thing is marami akong loan na binabayaran.
I see.
All right, so let me just tell you this funny story. You know, my first financial goal was not to actually save, was not to invest, but to apply for a loan, to get a loan.
Okay.
Yeah, yun yung
For what purpose?
for no reason.
Okay.
Here's the thing, kasi when I freshly graduate, bago pa lang sa workforce, I've noticed that most of my colleagues, lahat sila may loan.
Okay.
And then, pag na-regular ka, you know, Ares, sabi nila, Ares, pag na-regular ka, you can actually apply for a loan and then you can pay this and blah, blah, blah. And for some reasons, hindi pa uso ang social media
Exactly.
influencer that time.
Yeah.
Pero I was already influenced by the people around me. So, to cut the long story short, so I loaned. And alam mo, nabili ko noon is yung high-end na phone that time. Wala pa
Okay.
naman yung touchscreen, but it was expensive, around 10,000
Okay.
pesos. And my salary back then was only 8,000
Okay.
because I was in the province.
So mas malaki pa yung pinambili mo ng telepono kaysa sa monthly salary mo.
Correct. And after that, hindi na natapos doon. Like after, I think a year, everyone have SSS loan. And sabi nila,
Right.
Ares, if you have been able to contribute this amount of money, pwede ka na mag-loan sa SSS. So what I did, that was my second thing. So I took a loan from SSS. And to be honest with you, I don't even remember para saan ko yung ginamit. But one thing I remember about that situation is that I was already having that habit of I need to get a loan. I need to borrow this money for whatever the reason because of of the surrounding around me.
Right. So ayun yung mga circumstances na nagkaroon ka that made you decide, okay, I'm going to earn more,
Yeah.
I'm going to go abroad. And then
Yes.
you went to Qatar.
Yeah. I went to Qatar. So with that kind of mentality, with the same mentality, sabi ko sa sarili ko before I went to Qatar, pag tumaas ang salary ko, pag naging 50,000 pesos a month na, I will be able to pay off my loans, my debts, and then probably buy all the things.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, nung dumating ako dito, after a month na nakahanap ako ng trabaho, you know what the first goal that I had, ang first goal ko kaagad is to apply for a credit card.
Okay. Utang ulit.
Utang ulit. Because number one, I've seen the people around me, meron silang iPad, meron silang iPhone. And then I'm also techie and gusto ko, gamer ako eh. So
Okay.
I can
Mga
use that.
gadgets.
Yeah, gadgets. So what I did, unfortunately, because of my salary that time, I was not able to take a loan kasi hindi nga ako qualified. So may kaibigan ako nagsabi sa akin, Ares, alam mo, punta tayo dito sa isang financing company na to. And mag-loan tayo, yung we will buy something, so we have three things on the list. One is camera para sa kanya,
Okay.
iPad for me, and iPhone for me. So it's like
Okay.
maglo-loan ako, nakasama siya, pero
Okay.
on my name. So pumunta ako doon sa financing, and then I applied, I brought all the papers,
Documents, yeah.
kinapalan ko na yung mukha ko sa employer ko, and sabi ko, I need this, I need your approval, and blah, blah, blah. And what happened is, it was a disappointment. Hindi na-approve yung loan ko.
Okay.
And then, at that time, paglabas ko ng establishment, parang napahiya ako sa sarili ko. And then sabi ko, natauhan ako, parang nabuhusan ako ng malamig na tubig. And I realized, God, thank you for this rejection. Why? Because it became a wake-up call for me na sa sobrang habit na acquire ko sa pangungutang, sabi ko, hanggang kailan ba ako mangungutang? Hanggang kailan ba ako magbabayad ng utang? And that, I think it's a blessing in disguise, because after that, I began to start, listening, talking to people who knows how to manage
Right.
their finances well. I read books. I listened. I watched YouTube blogs that time, and my journey began. And then until naging financial advisor na rin ako.
Ilang years yung mga panahon na ikaw ay naglulot? Kasi I do see that you're getting emotional right now.
Yeah.
Medyo namamasama sa aking mata eh. So, ilang years ba yung naging ganong habit na uutang, tapos we don't know where the money went, or nabili lang ng gadgets?
Yeah.
Gano'n siya kahaba?
I think it was since 2007 hanggang 2013.
Okay.
13, yeah.
And you
years
were
ako
already
nandito.
working here in Qatar for
Yes.
how long?
For 2 years already.
Okay. Kasi minsan ganun talaga, no? Lalo na kapag lumalaki yung income natin,
Yeah.
now we get to purchase the things that we
Yeah.
were unable to buy before.
Correct.
And feeling natin, sige, ilaban natin to, kaya pa naman. Lalo na pag bata pa, parang, hindi ko pa naman kailangan mag-ipon, wala pang pamilya, wala pang pinag-aaral.
Yeah.
So, balhin muna natin ang mga gadgets.
Correct. Not to mention yung mga damit na binibili ko, branded lahat, kasi the people surround me, may hindi silang ganon. So I could get to compare myself. And pag uuwi ako ng Pilipinas, madamot ako medyo sarado yung kamay ko that time. Nakakaipon ako, my point na nakakaipon ako, pero pagdating ko ng Pilipinas, nauubos lahat. Sabi ko, and then I told myself, we have to put an end to this. And that's, when I began to really search for financial literacy.
Okay. So, yun yung pinaka naging pivotal moment, yung nag-apply ka ng loan na na-reject.
Yeah.
Tapos,
It was the beginning.
Oo.
Because the beginning really was when I attended the financial literacy seminar
I see.
in our church.
Okay.
And then what really struck me there is that sabi nung
Nagtuturo.
ang sabi niya is the borrower is a slave to the lender.
Mhm.
O ang nangungutang ay alipin ng nagpapautang. And then I came to realize that, that has been my life ever since. And pag wala akong na-delay ang salary, andun na yung petsa de peligro, nag-aalala ka na.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna pay doon sa mga nagpautang sa akin? So those are the things that really had struck me and made me decide na magbago ng sistema.
But during this time, you were still working in sales, right?
Yeah, I'm still working in sales.
So ano yung naging, rason, bakit ka napapunta naman papunta ng financial advisor? Kasi iba yung ikaw magkakaroon ka ng realization, now I need to save. Pero iba din yung ikaw tutulong ka sa iba, mag-guide ka ng financial pathway nila
Yeah.
or ng blueprint ng kanilang financial freedom. Magkaiba yun eh.
Yeah.
So what made you jump into pursuing a career in as a financial advisor?
So number one, nakita ko yung need ng mga OFW sa financial education. There are 4 things kasi that I see bakit maraming mga OFWs na nababaon sa utang. Number 1 is yung lack of education.
Right.
The reason why ganito yung ating situation because the culture that I was in was ang dami nilang lahat halos ng kaibigan ko may mga utang and I come to think that kailangan ko rin mangutang. And then there was no such thing as, wala pa naman ganun like TikTok before, na wala pa namang social media noon or mga vlogger about sa financial talaga na nagtuturo. And it was never a part of our education system. Right? So we a Filipino are lacking of education. In fact, according sa studies recently, is according sa BSP, 80% ng mga Filipinos are afraid of the retirement
Right.
because hindi sila nakapag-prepare.
Right.
And number one is because of lack of education.
Right.
Pangalawa is overspending lifestyle.
Well, actually, may naalala lang ako dyan sa financial education. Kasi
Yes.
di ba, we are part of an organization and the two of us were developing a module para sa financial literacy.
Yeah.
And what makes me sad when we were working on that is that for the past 15 years, nagkaroon kasi ng survey sa Philippines, yung pagdating sa level of savings ng mga OFWs. So every year, from when they started doing that survey, hanggang sa ngayon, pababa yung level of savings.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
yun yung parang kumbaga lack of financial education talaga. And then you were mentioning something about point number 2.
Point number 2 is overspending lifestyle. Like, kasi lumaki na yung sahod ko, so I had this tendency na kailangan ko na rin taasan yung kind of lifestyle that I have. So dati parang okay na ako sa mga ganitong damit. So I changed all the entire wardrobe. Nagbago ako ng, and then not only that, I'm not saying na wag tayong bumili, no? Pero
Exactly.
I was buying things using the money that I don't even have. Kasi after that, nagkaroon na rin ako ng credit card.
Okay.
After a year or two. So I was spending those things with the money that I don't have.
Yeah.
And ito yung naging motivation ko kasi I want to impress people around me. And what I've heard from a guru, a financial guru, is the reason why nalulubog tayo sa utang is because we buy things to impress people that we don't even like, with money that we don't even have. I'll just repeat that once again. I want to sink this in sa mga nakikinig. So we buy things with money that we buy things
To impress.
no, sorry, let me just repeat that. We buy things that we don't need to impress people that we don't even like with money that we don't even have. So yun yung parang naging every time I listen to that. In fact, ngayon, to be honest, I'll just be vulnerable here. Hanggang ngayon, there is still a struggle.
Because the nature of your work, kasi back then you were in sales, syempre nga naman, pagkahaharap ka sa mga kliyente, you have to look good. And minsan, nagiging justification natin pag bibili tayo, kailangan ko to kasi haharap ako sa mga kliyente.
Like, dapat kailangan branded yung dapat makikita kanila na mamahalin yung gamit mo. So you can attract those kind of clients.
Kailangan maganda yung balat mo, lahat ng skincare products, pati pag facial every now and then, di ba? Although, of course, it's good to take care of yourselves. But I guess not to an extent that you are burying yourself in debt.
Correct. And not only, I have friends who really love me, who told me, Ares, alam mo, why don't you just, buy a new car? Dapat yung medyo malaking sasakyan para pag nakita ka ng kliyente mo, they will be impressed. Why don't you, buy, like the branded kind of luxurious brands para at least pag nakita ka nila, wow, successful ka. And then they will,
And
maybe
especially
buy.
as a financial advisor.
Yeah, they have to see the success in you.
Yeah.
Pero what I always tell them is that, you know what? If I'm gonna be buying those things, not because I want to impress people, but because I need that. For example, I'll give you an example. May sasakyan kami, 19 kopong-kopong pa. And then, sabi ng mga kaibigan ko, which is, nagbibiroan lang naman kami. Sabi niya, Aris, bakit di mo napalitan yan? Dapat SUV na yung sasakyan mo. Dapat brand new, ganun, blah, blah, blah. Eh, sabi ko naman sa kanila,
Bakit
you know what?
SUV na? Dahil may family na?
Kasi may family
Okay.
na, and then syempre SUV, medyo parang bigatin, something like that. You know what, sabi ko sa kanila, my car is still working fine. Malakas ng AC.
It still brings you from point A to point B, di ba?
Correct. What really matters to me is if I'm going to be bringing this, my family back from point A to B, then that's okay.
Yeah.
Kung kailangan na talaga, if I have the money, second thing is I tell them, wala pa kasi naman akong pambili. If I'm gonna be buying this vehicle, meron na akong nai-reserve. So that's why it took us around 5 years before we were able to buy our own vehicle, and humbly speaking, is I was able to buy it in cash.
Okay, wow.
And I'm not saying loaning for a vehicle is bad, especially if you don't have any choice. But I prefer peace of mind than having this kind of baggage on me. Kasi ang iniisip ko parate, okay, you have an emergency fund. What if worst things happens talaga sa buhay mo na wala ka talaga, maubos na yung emergency fund mo at may utang ka. And I have met a lot of clients nung during COVID, marami talagang nawala sa kanilang mga assets and mga mortgage because hindi nila nabayaran yung kanilang obligation. And then, may iba sa kanila, 3 kinuha ng mga condo units, tapos nawalan sila ng work, okay lang sana kung months. Some of them took a year bago
Right.
sila makahanap. So that's why, for me, living a life having that kind of peace is incomparable to the pleasure that, getting a loan,
Right.
consumer loan.
Right.
Let me get it straight. There is a difference between bad and good debt. Bad debt and good debt. Good debt is about you're loaning for something that will give return out for you. And then bad debt naman is something na nauubos yung pera mo
Right.
because of that.
So yung iba for business, maglo-loan.
Yeah, that's
Yun nga
okay.
lang, of course, dapat calculated nyo yung risk kasi baka nga naman hindi nyo rin alam yung type ng business na pinapasok.
And in
it
fact-
could also be a bad debt later on.
Really, yeah. It also depends kung yung bang loan mo is to start a business. Because if you want to start a business and starting it with a loan, that's really
Right.
a difficult
Right.
proposition.
Right.
It's you're heading to disaster kapag
Yeah.
nagkataon. Pero if you're loaning because you want to expand a business, then that's gonna be a different matter.
So you were mentioning kanina yung mga reasons kung bakit talagang nalulubog sa utang or hindi nakakapag-ipon ng mga Filipinos. Number 1 is yung lack of financial education. Number 2 is overspending. What's the
Overspending.
next one?
The next one is always saying yes.
Sa lahat ng nangungutang ba to?
No. Ito para sa mga OFWs. Mahal natin ang ating family.
Yes.
Mga kaibigan, mapagmahal tayo eh. And one of our traits is hindi tayo nakakapagtanggi pag may lumapit na nangangailangan. So I have a lot of friends, clients na ganun yung problema nila. Kaya hindi sila nakakaipon, kaya nababaon sila sa utang because hindi sila makahindi sa mga mahal nila sa buhay. Kailangan ko ng ganito, I'm not saying wag kayong magpadala. Pero
Right.
sometimes, yung pinapadala naman, yung itinutulong naman nila, hindi naman talaga necessary. Alam mo yon. So for example, one example would be, kailangan ko kasing magpa-debu. Dapat kasi yung mga classmate ko ganito. Sila, may 18 crosses sila and all.
Right.
Pero when I look at the financial circumstances of my client, ang kanyang circumstances marami siyang utang. Tapos naghihirap na siya dito, parang ang kinakain niya talagang tipid-tipid na lang siya.
Right.
Sabi ko, if you have the provision, why not? But if you don't have it, then bakit ka mangungutang? Bakit mo kailangan
Exactly.
pondohan yan? And one of the character traits natin kasi mga kababayan is yung hero's mentality. Na parang,
Inaako lahat. Ako ang sasalba. Ako ng lahat ng problema ng pamilya. May mga ganyan
Yeah,
tayo.
yeah.
And very common yan for OFWs.
yes, totoo. And most of the time, there's a lot of disadvantage kapag ganun yung mentality mo. And sabi nga ng isang fina-follow ko, si Jason Loy, if I'm not mistaken, sabi niya, if you're saying yes to everyone, you're saying no to
To
yourself,
yourself.
to your dreams.
That's true.
And that's true. Diba? Kasi I've known a lot of people, 10, 20, 30 years na nandito sa Qatar, pero hindi pa rin sila prepared, wala pa rin silang naipupundar. Because all of the things that pinaggagastusan nila is palabas. I mean, para maitulong naman,
Yeah.
yun nga lang, wala silang naitatabi para sa sarili.
And the danger about it is later on, kapag kapanahunan na para mag-retire,
Yeah.
di naman kasi talaga tayo magiging residents for the rest of our lives.
Correct.
May hangganan ang pagstay natin dito, di ba? Once we reach our retirement, we have to go back home or elsewhere. So
Yeah.
saan ka pupunta kung wala kang trabaho at wala kang ipon, di ba?
That's true. That's true. Kaya nga yung last, ulitin natin, lack of education, overspending lifestyle,
Always
always
saying
saying yes to your loved ones, and last but not the least is yung no clear goals or no solid plan. Like for example, yung mentor ko, ang sabi niya sa akin when I started this job, sabi niya, Aris, when would you like to retire? Oo nga, napaisip ako. Teka, at that time I was 33 years old. 34 siguro. 34 years old. Sabi ko, okay, gusto ko mag-retire after 10 years. Okay, magkano yung kailangan mo na matanggap buwan-buwan for you to be able to retire? Napaisip ulit ako. 50,000? Just, rough estimate, 50,000. Okay. Sa 50,000, saan mo kukunin yun? And blah, blah, blah. Ang point dito is, wala akong tangible na sagot. Wala akong specific na maisagot sa kanya.
Hindi siya measurable in short.
It's not smart.
Yeah.
Sabi nga, di ba, if you're gonna be setting a goal, it has to be smart.
Yeah.
Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bounded.
Timely.
So, hindi specific kasi hindi ko nga alam kung ano yun. So, that's why having a financial, I'll come to think of this, para kang nagda-drive, tapos nag-drive ka ng sasakyan, hindi mo alam kung saan ka pupunta. So, anong mangyayari? Hindi ba paikot-ikot ka lang?
Right.
Kung saan ka dalhin ng traffic lights, kakaliwa, kakanan ka, nangyayari, nasasayang yung gasolina, nasasayang yung oras mo. And most of us OFWs are living that kind of life. Meron tayong pangarap sa buhay, pero it's not specific, it's not measurable, hindi nga natin alam kung paano natin malalaman. Hindi natin malaman kung attainable,
Right.
relevant ba ito sa gusto talaga nating
Right.
pangarap, at time-bound, meron pa tayong deadline. Kasi sabi nga if it's not scheduled, it will not happen.
Well, actually, di ba, meron naman sa Philippines na yung pre-departure orientation,
Yeah.
nagbibigay ng financial literacy doon. Yun nga lang, kapag naka-experience na talaga nung
Yeah.
malaking sahod at saka ng ibang lifestyle, nag-iiba talaga yung mindset din eh.
That's
So,
true.
tama yung sinasabi mo kanina that you should always, have a solid plan. Kasi kung meron ka nun, every time na titignan mo yung plano mo,
Yeah.
alam mo kung ano yung magiging actions mo sa
Correct.
mga susunod, di ba?
Kaya nga, like for example, one of the reason also na nagkakautang ang tao because of a scam. Means I heard stories na nag-loan sila from a bank and then pinasok nila sa investment na napakabilis na kumita. And then just so na kung maging doble yung kanilang kinikita.
Right.
Yun nga lang, ang dating kasi is nagkakamali sila ng decision. But here's the thing, like a solid plan, or I call this as a financial blueprint or a financial roadmap. If you have a financial roadmap, alam mo kung saan ka pupunta, alam mo kung saan ka liliko, gaano katagal yung babaybayin mo, at magkano yung magiging cost ng pagpunta mo roon sa panggagalingan mo.
Pero may mga iba nagsasabi or baka may mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, sabi nila, Aris, parang ang hirap naman yung pinapagawa mo. Tsaka paano naman kami mag-e-enjoy? Baka mamaya bukas wala na kami. Hindi man lang namin na-enjoy yung mga pinaghirapan namin ngayon. Gusto ko muna magpakayolo, di ba? And get to enjoy kung ano man yung kinikita ko ngayon.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When I do a financial blueprint with my clients, what I do is we create a budget with according dun sa plano nila. And having that budget, nilalagyan parati namin ng fund. Why do I do
Anong
this?
tawag? Fun fund. Okay.
Fun funds. A
Yeah.
fund that you can use
For
for
fun.
whatever the reason, for
Yeah.
anything that you like to buy. Para magkaroon ka, ma-enjoy mo yung buhay
Yeah.
mo. And then apart from that, meron pang investment, merong savings and blah, 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 and whatever that is. So the point is, I also teach OFWs na hindi naman puro na lang tipid-tipid, hindi naman puro na lang para sa future. You also have to enjoy the now, because tomorrow is just a gift. Hindi nga natin alam kung maaabot pa natin yung time na yan. Para sa
Exactly.
sobrang kakatipid mo, and sa sobrang kakatipid mo na hindi mo na na-enjoy, kinuha ka na ni Lord. Tapos, alam
So
mo yan,
dapat balanse talaga.
it has to
no?
be balanced.
And nakakatuwa kasi napag-uusapan natin to at marami tayong natututunan and I'm
Yeah.
sure maraming mga viewers natin natututo sa ngayon at lalong-lalo na may mga matututunan sila sa ilalabas mong libro. So you are writing a book right
Yes,
now.
I'm writing a book for OFWs. So this is, the title is Home for Good. Home for Good, a step-by-step guide for OFWs to go back home comfortable and stress-free.
Kailan ang release nito? Pinressure, ano?
I'm still working on it.
Yeah, soon.
I'm still working on it. And hopefully by this year, I will be able to release that book. That is especially for OFWs.
let us know here at Sinag Digital Media because definitely that's one of the things that we would want to share din sa mga nanonood sa atin, sa mga
Yeah.
magbabasa ng mga articles natin. Kasi yun naman talaga yung goal din ng Sinag is to shine light, and if it would be shining light on how they can better provide for their families, for themselves and their future, mas magandang ma-share din natin
Yeah,
yun.
that's true.
So, are there like any final advices that you would like to share sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, lalong-lalo na yung mga madaming utang,
Yes.
yung wala pang savings, yung hindi nila mapigilan,
Yeah.
yung bumili ng mga
Yung urge.
gamit. Kasi you had that experience and I'm
Yeah.
sure nung nagkaroon ka ng pivotal moment, meron ka ding mga ginagawa, paano mo labanan yon. So what are your advices to these individuals who are experiencing those things?
Okay, there are a lot of solution para ma-address natin yung problema na yan. But I would like to share 4 things lang quickly. Number 1 is we have to really define our financial purpose. As an OFW, I want you to ask yourself, bakit ka nga ba pumunta ng abroad? What's your main reason? Remind yourself, ano ba talaga ang rason mo? Bakit nag-abroad ka? So that magkaroon ka ng clarity na, okay, kailangan ko ba talagang bilhin itong gamit na to? Kailangan ko ba talagang mag-upgrade ng sasakyan? Kailangan ko ba talagang mag-loan para dito? Because what's really important, if you have that anchor with you, meron kang define yung financial goals mo. For example, nag-abroad ako kasi gusto ko mapaaral yung anak ko. Pero most of the time, ganun ang ating mga financial goals. Pero ang tanong is, nakakapag-ipon ba talaga kayo ng para sa pag-aaral ng anak nyo? Most of the time, hindi. Kasi nga, hindi clear eh. It has to be, again, smart. It has to be, kung mag-aaral yung anak mo, ilang taon pa sila bago mag-college? Saan nyo sila paaaralin? Magkano yung kailangan nila? And then, magkano yung kailangan mong itabi buwan-buwan para magkaroon ka ng para ma-achieve, ma-provide mo yung pangangailangan mo sa anak mo. When you have that clarity, then you will be guided. Kung alam mo kung saan ka patutungo, alam mo kung saan ka dadaan. So that's number 1 is define a financial goal, financial dream. Pangalawa is eliminate temptation. Alright. So,
Pumunta ng mall ba to?
hindi lang. I mean, ngayon, nasa cellphone mo na yung temptation di ba?
Oo nga eh.
So, the second
May
one is...
notifications nga ako lagi din sa phone eh.
Should I
May
mention
mga
the name?
paroleta pa. Wag na. Pero may mga paroleta pa yan. Biglang, may
Kaya nga,
discount ka
budol, di ba?
80%.
Yeah, I mean, you have to eliminate those. For example, kung sa cellphone ka, napapa-add to cart ka ng add to cart,
Yeah.
delete that application. Pag naglalabas kayo ng family at napapagastos kayo kapag may nakikita kang pula, so you have to at least, punta na lang kayo sa park, punta na lang kayo sa kaibigan. So you really have to be wise kasi here's the thing, financial is 80% emotional and 20% logical. Meaning is, our financial decision is driven by our behavior, our emotion. Hindi tayo nag-iisip pagdating sa pera. So what I recommend, OFWs, kung nahihirapan ka mag-ipon, napapagastos ka, minsan siguro ilimitahan mo, siguro kung every other day kayo lumalabas kumakain, siguro once a week na lang, siguro twice a week na lang, depende. What really matters is you have to start something today. Pangatlo is, ano nga yun? So number 1 is define a financial goal. E is eliminate this is an abbreviation na. E
sure.
is eliminate temptation.
Teacher na teacher talaga si Aris, di ba? Okay.
It's an abbreviation of DEBT, debt.
Okay.
And B is build an emergency fund. Kaya naman tayo napapautang is because wala tayong reserba eh. Kapag nagkaroon ng emergency sa family, pag nagkaroon ng sakit, pag napatigil sa pagtatrabaho, kaya tayo nakakaskas yung ating credit cards is
Right.
because wala tayong plan B. I remember there's one client who's saying, Aris, I want to akala ko, she was so thankful to me because akala ko, Sir Aris, akala ko ang emergency fund is only 500 reals. Pero I asked her, pag nawalan ka ba ng trabaho for the next 2 to 3 months, how will you be able to cope up? And will you be able to cope up with that 500 reals? Of course not.
Right.
So again, you have to have an emergency fund. it has to be 3 times to 6 times ng monthly expense mo. So kung gumagastos ka ng 1,000 per month, kung ang dapat emergency fund mo is at least 6,000. Pero because of COVID, na-realize natin na mas mahaba yung pwede maging emergency.
Okay.
Alright? And last but not the least
Yung T,
is
letter T.
is train yourself to say no.
Okay.
I want to sing that in sa isa yun. Train yourself to say no. Because I think saying no is not selfish. Sasabihin ng iba, hindi naman ako madamot, Aris. Pero here's the thing, I think the unselfish thing that you can ever do for your family is to say no now and saying yes to them in the future. Kasi what you're doing right now is taking charge of your finances para balang araw, hindi lang ganito yung naitutulong mo sa kanila. Darating ang araw, one day, magpapasalamat sila sa iyo because you're not only able to provide for their needs, but you're also able to give them inheritance. You're able to give them a life na pag-aral mo sila sa magandang eskwelahan. But you have to start today.
That's true. Thank you so much, Aris, for sharing your story, yung personal experience mo, and yung journey mo from someone who's taking loans para makabili ng mga gadgets, now to having a lot of certifications in financial planning and providing a blueprint for OFWs on how they can achieve their financial freedom. So sa ngayon, bago tayo mag-end ng ating conversation, ang program kasi natin ay Sinag Spotlight. And of course, the word Sinag, the Filipino word Sinag, it means a ray of light in English, diba? So how or what does Sinag mean to you personally in the context of your life's journey?
Wow. Ganda ng tanong. You know, I as an OFW who was a slave on borrowing, I can see myself, humbly speaking, na if I can be a light to someone else. Kasi I was in the dark eh. Like, I thought this is the right way to do things. I thought this is the right way to manage my finances. But I realized na I was in the dark. I was just going around, I don't know where to go. But now that I have seen the light towards financial freedom, I always tell myself, can I bring someone with me? Can I bring an OFW, at least one OFW a day, and help them go to that financial freedom that they want to their lives? Sabi nga ng when I started this job as a financial advisor, I have this negative mentality na, Aris, hindi ka pa naman mayaman, ang dami, may mga utang ka pa nga eh. Why would you be speaking about financial literacy? You're not capable enough. I mean, hindi pa naman ganun ka-successful. But my mindset is this. If I can bring someone with me, we are all in a journey. But if I can bring someone with me, along with me, and then at least influence them, empower them to think differently when it comes to their finances, and see that light, then I'll do my best in a little way to at least shed that light to them.
Yeah. And sabi nga, di ba, kapag magkakasama tayo, mas nagiging madali yung journey na yon. Kaya nga yung hashtag natin dito, di ba? Ano nga hashtag natin? Ayan, andito lahat ng crew, hindi makasagot. We shine brighter together.
We shine
And of
brighter.
course, thank you so much for shedding light and reminding ang ating mga kababayan kung paano nga ba talaga tayo kung paano magkakaroon ng reassessment on the purpose and why we went abroad, and kung paano tayo kahit pa paano makakapaggawa ng blueprint. I'm sure marami pa tayong mga pag-uusapan dito sa Sinag because we're working on something hopefully soon, hopefully mag-materialize. But thank you so much, Aris, for giving us letting us know your life story and at the same time sharing your expertise with us.
Yeah. Can I leave with one
sure.
story? Very short story lang, hindi naman to isang oras. Pero I always end with this story. Narinig mo na to.
Okay.
So there was merong isang apo, no? Ang sabi at nakahuli siya ng ibon. At tumakbo siya sa towards his lolo. And ang sabi niya sa lolo niya, tinago niya yung kanyang ibon na nahuli. Ang sabi niya sa lolo niya, Lo, hulaan mo nga itong ibon na to. Is it dead or is it alive? buhay ba to or patay? At pag sinabi ng lolo niya na patay, pag sinabi ng lolo niya na buhay, ang gagawin nung kanyang apo ay i-squeeze niya yung ibon hanggang sa mamatay. At pag sinabi naman ng lolo niya na patay, ang gagawin niya is i-let go niya yung kanyang kamay dun sa ibon para makalipad and buhay siya. So either kung anong sagot ano man lang sagot nung kanyang lolo, mali pa rin yung lolo niya. Pero here's the thing, the clever thing that his lolo said. You know what, Apo? Whether it is alive or whether it is dead, his life or its life is in your hands. How can we relate this to our OFWs? Whether your life be a life full of death, whether your life be a life of financial freedom, whether your life is a life of worried retirement, whether your life is about comfortable retirement, here's the thing. It's on your hands. It's in your hands.
All
Yun
right.
lamang po. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aris. And to all our viewers, I'm sure na naging inspiring and very helpful yung conversation namin ni Aris for today's episode of Sinag Spotlight. And if you enjoy this video, I do encourage you to share this to your family and your friends. Mag-react na din kayo sa video na ito. And always follow us on social media. Ang handle natin ay Sinag DM on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for more information para sa Sinag Digital Media. And dito sa Sinag, we shine brighter together.
Hello, Sinag viewers. My name is Aris, and I'm a financial advisor. I would like to invite you to stay tuned on my book launch the end of this year. It's called Home for Good, the OFW step-by-step guide on how to return back to the Philippines comfortable and stress-free. I would also like to shout out my wife, Princess Joy Bigay, and my daughter, Naomi. I love you so much. Thank you.
Dito sa Sinag, we shine brighter together.
Sinag Spotlight.